Great, so welcome to another sequence of stretches for you. This time we'll be covering AB and adduction. So opening and closing inner thighs and outer thighs, okay, hips. And this is just really helpful for your straddles and really helpful for your pigeon. So this will be practiced after your workout, your sport specific performance, anything that you might do, or combined with your activation stretches afterwards to make it into a nice little mobility and flexibility sessions. So we are going to start with a frog stretch. With the frog stretch is very simple and self-explanatory. We're actually going to open the knees at a certain width, and we're going to turn and flex the toes out. What we want to try and do is first finding a slightly comfortable position. As you can see, my shins are slightly pulled out. I try and not come with the legs and feet in. I just keep them open here. And what's quite nice as well is finding an angle where you feel a bit more challenged. So you can sit back slightly, or you can move forward slightly. You can tug the tailbone, you can pull the tailbone back. It's up to you to find a stretch that feels nice and comfortable, enough to hold for the time indicated in your program. So this is stretch number 1, the frog, okay? Very nice. Stretch number 2, wall straddles. So I don't have a wall, but I'm just gonna demonstrate here. Very simple, again, very basic. I'm just going to show it here. I get my bum near the wall. If you don't have a wall like me, just try and use whatever you feel you can get some nice distance. And hold that stretch here. Yeah, if you don't have a wall, just try and make sure you can hold into an open position. This can be a little bit more challenging, but very effective. Stretch number 2. I'm going to turn around. Stretch number 3, your butterfly. Again, very nice and simple, joining the sole of the feet together. You can actually open the sole and the feet. Try and bring your heels as close to your groin as possible. As you can see, I am not very good with the butterfly. I was even worse a few years ago. I'm getting better at them, but you want to try and touch the ground. If you find that you're already touching the ground, then elevate your bum onto a block or cushion or anything that can give a little bit of height. If you find that you are actually struggling, you can just gently support with blocks. Yeah, that also works. It's quite important to just make that stretch quite comfortable. And the aim as well is to be able to lean forward without rounding the back. So try and keep that back straight and lead with the chest, gazing it slightly forward, leading with the chest. You can also use your elbows to push down. But remember, we're not supposed to be shaking. We're supposed to be able to relax in this position. I also like, when I hold my stretch a little bit longer, to use 1 or 2 blocks. Actually, I need 2 for this one. Up, to rest my head on. Up. And hold the stretch here. Right? Stretch number 4, you might be using a block if necessary. It's called half pigeon. So you know the pigeon is this kind of position. The only thing is with the pigeon is sometimes, in order for the stretch to be effective, it's important that we teach the body to actually have a 90-degree angle. This is where it's the most effective for the hip. So half a pigeon means we start with one leg forward into a 90-degree angle and the second legs come back. So if you're not too sure how to access this, imagine you do a pigeon, bring your back leg to the front and open the front leg. Okay. We then push that leg and then we try and straighten the hip to face forward. We pull that tailbone out and that sit bone out. So you want to try and feel the stretch in the back or side of your front leg into the thigh. So you want to try and really drag yourself away, drag your bum away from you. And again, we try and keep crushing into the crease of the thigh. So we hinge the hip, so we're not rounding. Otherwise, you're not going to really feel the stretch. Nice and forward here, you can use the blocks. Again, if you find this quite difficult, and we gently take ourselves forward. Wherever you feel you can take that stretch without losing alignment and engagement, okay? So keep those hips facing forward and try and pull into that stretch. I'm going to show you again from this side so you can actually see. This is my bad side, by the way. But if you're not too sure about the measurements, I tend to think shin parallel to the front of my mat, 90-degree angle, and then it doesn't matter where that leg goes, okay? As you can see, I don't have a lot of opening, but then I pull my glute out. I pull my sit bone away, so you literally pull it away. So you want to feel the stretch here, okay? And then you really crush that hip, crush that hip into the thigh, and you gently take your stretch forward. If you want to progress this to a pigeon, but you want to try and find the correct alignment, I do this. I come onto a block. I find the right alignment for my pigeon, so 90 degree, and then I straighten my leg away. So this is the way I find my pigeon. It works as well, but you really want to try. Yeah, I'm going to do it like this. With my good side, you really want to try and find that perfect 90-degree angle at the front before you kick that leg back. When you kick that leg back, you can see I rotate my hip, so that's your progression. I rotate my hip, so my hips are square. If you collapse, that's no good. If your foot comes in, it's no good. That's why you want to try and keep a nice opening 90 degree and then slowly find that stretch. Okay. So performing the stretches, you want to hold them at least for 20 seconds and about a maximum, I'd say 2 minutes. 2 minutes is when you reach the stretch reflex. If you don't know already, a stretch reflex is when your nervous system finally let go and you can really reach more potential in your stretch. However, it's very important that you do the activations and the strength training prior to doing a 2-minute stretch or reaching beyond your stretch reflex, as you can injure yourself if you don't build the strength. You can damage your ligaments, you can damage your muscle fibers, your tendon. You don't want to go past the stretch reflex without building the strength first. So that's why it's important to do your activation practices and your strength and your end range conditioning practices. I hope that you found this really helpful, and I wish you a happy practice.